what's up you all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to cover how to fill out IRS Form 1040 for the tax year for single individual with no dependent. This form will relatively remain the same for future years as well. I'll show you how you can file on your own for free and save yourself a few $100s. It's fairly simple, and if you have all the documents ready, you can just fill this out in next few minutes. Before you start filling this out, remember to have your W-2 nearby you. W-2 form is provided by your employer, so if you haven't received, contact your employer to provide you with your previous year's W-2 form. This W-2 form contains wages, tips, and other compensation, as well as the income tax withheld for the year 2023. In this example, we are going to be using some assumption. The filing status is going to be single. We are assuming we are not going to have any dependent. We are going to be using W-2 income. The income from 1099, I'll continue and I'll cover that. The 1099 INT form paid by the bank. 1099B, which is the brokerage form if you have done any stock trades, so on and so forth, will be also covered. We'll be using the standard deduction in this example and then not using any additional credit or deduction for this tax purposes. I also strongly recommend you go through this instruction provided by IRS that contains what's new for 2023. It also contains all the information line by line 1040 form. It also has the tax tables that I'll cover in this example. So take a look. This is our 2023 tax table, and it will contain exactly how much tax you are going to pay for the income that you have generated in 2023. Without a further delay, I wanted to ask you to be sure to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and also click on the link below that contains the IRS Form 101 guide that can help you out, and we have additional forms. You can also find out how you can file this form online for free without spending anything. Now let's just jump right into it. The 1040 US Individual Income Tax Form is from the Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Services, or called IRS. This is a very simple form of 2 pages, and it shouldn't take too long for you to figure things out right here after watching this video. This form has 3 main sections. The first section is about a lot of personal information that you need to provide to IRS, including your name, address, so on and so forth. Line number 1 through 15 is about the income which you generated in income, wages, tips in 2023. The second section contains tax credit and payments that you have already withheld or you already paid to IRS throughout the year in the form of deduction from your paycheck. The third section, we will calculate how much refund that you will be getting or how much tax liability that you owe to IRS and how you will get that refund. And lastly, you are going to sign this form, put your name, your occupation, and your IRS PIN number to finish this form and mail this form to IRS. Let's just jump right into it. In the first section, we are going to provide our personal information, which starts with your first name and middle initial. Here in this case, John is the first name. We do not have middle initial, and last name is Doe. So John Doe is filing this form. You are also going to write down your social security number as you see on this section right here. You will be also writing your home address, number, and street. If you have PO box number, you will have to figure out the instruction. So go through the instruction. In this case, it is relatively simple for John. It is 123 Main Street. You're going to write city, state, and the zip code. Also, if you want to contribute to presidential election campaign, you will have to check this box right here, and you can donate $3 to this fund. Checking this box will not change your tax refund or any tax that you owe. The second part on this section is the filing status. In this example, as I mentioned before, John Doe is single, so we are going to check this box off right here. The next section is the digital asset. That is something that IRS introduced new. So if you traded anything in cryptocurrency or digital asset, you will be checking this box. In this example, there is no digital asset or there is no transactions that John did in 2023. At any time during 2023, whether you received as a reward or award or any type of payment or services that you have received in terms of digital asset, whether it's Bitcoin or any other altcoin, you're going to write here. Also, if you have sold, exchanged, exchange or dispose any digital asset or for any financial interest, you're going to also fill this section out with yes. In this example, to keep it simple, there is no digital asset involved in this particular individual for this year. Remember, what we're going to fill out this as whether someone can claim you as dependent or not. In this example, no one claims John as their dependent. Fill out your age and blindness, whether you were born before January 2nd, 1959, or are you blind, or anything else for your spouse. Example, John is single, so we're not going to consider spouse in this example anyway. Then you're going to have the section for dependents. John does not have any dependent, so we're not going to touch any element within this section. So let's jump into the income section, which is most important, and you can find out all this information using your W-2 form as I just mentioned to you. So keep your W-2 form handy, where you have box number 1 with wages tips, and the second box contains the federal income tax withheld. You're going to use this number from box 1 and put it here in section 1A. The line 1A contains total amount from your W-2, box 1, which is going to be again right here, this box 1. Whatever the number is here, you can just simply copy and paste and put it into this form in 1A. The 1B contains the household employee wages that were not reported in W-2. So if you have any, write down in section 1B. 1C, the tip income, whether you received any tip which is not reported on your paycheck or on your W-2, you're going to write in line 1C. 1D contains the Medicaid waiver payment or not reported on the form's W-2. For the most people, this is not going to be the case, which is not common, so you're going to leave it blank. 1E contains the taxable independent care benefit for the form 2441 line 26, which you can report in 1E. 1F contains employer provided adoption benefit. 1G contains wages from form 8919, which is related to your self-employed income, so on and so forth. If you have any other earned income, goes into 1H, and all non-taxable combat pay election goes to 1I. The line from 1B to 1I is not common, so for the most people, if you just have a single job, you're making money through your W-2 form from an employer, you're going to leave all these sections, all these lines blank. So go to your line 1Z, where you're going to add all this line from 1A through 1H. So we are going to see here $60,250. That is the wage that John has in his W-2 form provided by his employer. Now in this 2B, we are going to put any tax exempt or any taxable interest. John has their checking account and savings account and CD with one of the financial institutions where he received $50 in the form of interest in 1099 INT form. 3B contains any ordinary dividend if John received, taxable amount in terms of the IRS distribution, any pension or annuity, or any social security benefit. So from 3B to 6B is not going to be common for many people like John. So leave it blank if you did not have anything else. Now, if you have elected any lump sum election method, you will write down right here underneath line 6B. If you have any capital gain or loss when you traded stocks or mutual funds or ETFs, so on and so forth, you're going to write in line 7. In this example, John made some profit from selling stocks. In that case, he received 1099B and his capital gain was $575. Additional income, if you have any, write down in line 8. Now, in line 9, you're going to add 1Z, 2B, 3B, 4B, 5B, through 7 and 8, which is going to be your total income. So practically, you're adding $60,250, then $50, which is your taxable interest paid by the bank, and then your capital gain from the stocks. So you're adding line 1Z, 2B, and line number 7. For John, it comes down to $60,875, and you're going to add that up. Line 9. Line 10 is any adjustment. For the most people, it's not going to be the case, so leave it blank. Now, in line 11, you want to subtract line 10 from line 9. In this case, your line 10 is 0 and line 9 is 60,875. So put in line 11 60,875 $30,875. In line 12, you're going to use standard deduction or itemized deduction. For most of the people, it is going to be always beneficial to use standard deduction. What is the standard deduction? You can find that out into the instruction that I shared with you. The link is in the description below. Basically, the standard deduction for 2023 is right here in what's new section for 2023 instruction. Standard deduction amount increased for 2023. The standard deduction that has been increased for all the filers, including single or married filing separately, which is $13,850. So you're going to take this number and put this number right here, which is $13,850. Now in line 13, if you have any qualified business income deduction, form 8995 or 8995A, you're going to put that in line 13. If you don't owe any business, if you're not self-employed, it won't have any number right there. For the most people, it's going to be empty. In line number 14, you're going to add line 12 and line 13. In this case, line 13 has no number and line 12 is $13,850. So we are going to put $13,850 in line 14. In line 15, subtract line 14 from line 11, which is $60,875 minus $13,850. The sum comes up to $47,025. Congratulations. At this point, you have finished 50%, half of your form 1040. So let's now just jump into the next section where I'll show you how to calculate your tax. Now remember, this line 15 is $47,025. Let's just jump into this tax table that I shared with you. This is 2023 tax table. You want to find out where is your income. So this is your taxable income. Let me go back and share this information with you. Your taxable income is in line 15, $47,025. Go back to your tax table and find out how much tax you owe for $47,025 taxable income. So if you go to 2023 tax table, and if you scroll down, you should be able to find out this falls within 47,000 and 47,050. Here is your information. If the line 15 taxable income is at least 47,000 but less than 47,050 and you are a single, so let's find out. Scroll down and that is 5,653. So what you want to do is take that amount, copy and paste back into your line 16, which is $5,653 for the earned taxable income of $47,025. Now in line 17, your amount schedule 2, line 3, which is not common for many people, so leave it blank. Now add line 16 and 17 and put it into line 18, which is $5,653. You will add child tax credit or credit for other dependent. In this example, John is single, has no dependent, so we are going to leave it blank, and that is going to be the case for many of you. Now you put amount from schedule 3, line 8 into line 20 here, which is nothing, and line 21 remains blank as well because we don't really need to deduct from anything from 21 through 18. And in line 22, you are going to put $5,653, which is what you have seen in line 18. Line 23, if you have any other tax situations, read into the instruction below and add that up. In this example, very straightforward, there is nothing. Now add line 22 and 23. In this case, it's going to be $5,653. Your federal income tax withheld form, which is, we are going to talk about payment for section 25A through D. Now, this is the federal income tax withheld that you can find on your W-2 form in box 2. So read and find out how much your employer has withheld and paid to federal income tax withheld, and you will be taking that amount and putting it into 25A. For John, it is $6,400. Is there anything withheld from 1099? Very not common, so don't worry about that. B and C, so you're not putting anything in 25B and 25C. Now in 25D, you want to add up 25A through 25C, which is $6,400. And then you're going to add that up and put it into 25D. You don't really have any earned income credit, as I just mentioned. This is a pretty straightforward form and straightforward case. So we are going to leave 26, 27, 28, and 29 lines empty. With that, 30 and 31 remains empty as well. And you did not make any other payment. So 32 line remains empty as well. Now let's just jump into line 33, which is your total payment. The total payment is $6,400. Think about how much tax that you owed. $5,653 that you owe for the taxable income that you have in line 15, which is $47,025. Versus that, your withheld is $6,400. So in this example, John has a refund due. He paid more taxes than he should be, so he will be getting refund. For many of you, if you are single with no dependent, you will be in a similar situation where you will be getting tax refund back. So watch out for that. So in this example, what you're going to do is you want to find out the line 33, which is $6,400, and subtract that amount from line 24, which is $5,653. That is equal to $747, which is basically the refund that John is going to get back. If this numbers comes down to negative, that means you owe that money to IRS. So make sure that you send a check and pay your tax liability. Now 35A is basically the amount that you have in line 34. If you want that refunded to you, put that in 35A. We are going to put $747 right here. You're going to add the routing number for your bank, which is the most efficient, easier, and faster way to get your refund back. So make sure that you put your routing number for your bank institution or any financial institution. So in this case, we put the routing number, declare the type of the account, which is checking or savings. John has a checking account, so we just check this box off, and also make sure that you add your accurate account number. If you have any errors in your routing number or account number, there will be issues in getting refund back. So make sure you double check, triple check, quadruple check what you're writing here. So after you add routing number and account number, go down, you sign this particular form. We're getting to the end of the form, and which is very important. Make sure that you sign here. Make sure you put the date whenever you're filing this form, and also add your occupation. IRS sent you any identity PIN number, also add the PIN number right here. If you use any third party, you want to put it here. And if you use any preparer, a paid preparer, which means any accountant or CPA, you want to put their name right here as well. You are ready to mail this form. So go back to your instruction that IRS has given you and find out where you can mail this form. If you want to file this form electronically, see into your playlist, IRS Form Guide 101 or the Training 101. You should be able to fill this out on your own online and file it for free. I hope you like this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.